All right, Brian Cage, pro wrestling superstar. Thanks for joining us. Now, first question: Chris Rock versus Will Smith, work or shoot?
You know what? I think it's a complete shoot. I don't know why everything's such a work, and I'll tell you why. I have a Latin wife. She's pretty hot headed, and I haven't seen anybody notice this yet. But like Will Smith is laughing at the beginning of the clip, right? And whether he thinks it's funny or not, whatever, I feel like he's kind of going with it. But if you look at Jada, she is not laughing whatsoever and is not happy about it. And Will's just kind of like, and she just kind of give him the death glare after she's kind of pissed off. Camera cuts back to Chris Rock. He's talking whatever. Something was said there between his wife and him that either set him off or realized, oh shit, I got to get up and do something now. So, and obviously there might have been more things going on, and obviously in the media, and I don't even pay attention to all that stuff and pop culture, and even then, I mean, a lot of stuff in Hollywood just annoys me, and I don't really care either way. I thought at the end of the day, though, it was a bit ridiculous, though. Like regardless of his reasoning for doing it, right? Even defending his wife, if that was happened to plenty of other people in plenty of other circumstances, it wouldn't be tolerated. So I don't know why it's tolerated in that regard. If I go to a comedy club with my wife and she gets made fun of, and I get up and I slap the comedian, pretty sure I'm getting arrested for assault. So, I mean, I don't know.
All right, now let's get to talking about pro wrestling. A lot of people want to know, what is your current situation with AEW, and when will we see you on TV again?
I'm still under contract to AEW, and a lot of people think I'm gone. I'm still there, re-signed, not this, that. I've been under contract to AEW the whole time. As for further details on what's happening to AEW, I don't have much exactly. I know I did say in a different podcast that there is a plan. I've been told there's been a plan this whole time. Outside of that, whether I have more details or not, I mean, I wouldn't be able to say. So
it's been a while since we've seen you on TV. So
it's been a long one.
What have you been doing in the interim?
Well, I mean, luckily for me, I fought for in exclusivity so I could do independence. And I know a lot of guys in AEW do independence, not all of them. And I mainly do it too, just here. I guess I'll put myself over. I love wrestling. I love wrestling more than anything else. And a lot of people are like, oh, why would you go do independence? Like I get paid plenty fine from AEW or financially. I don't have to do any independent bookings, but I do them because I love it. And even when I was on TV every week, I wasn't I don't feel like I was getting to have, the Brian Cage matches I would want to have. Like I was getting that fix, if you will. If it was like a lot of just squash matches or something to just build me up, hey, that's cool. But it's like, man, so when I get these awesome opportunities for these great matches, I still want to take them. Like the match I had with Ospreay at the beginning of the year was absolutely through the roof. And like, I feel like that got me more talked about and viral than like a lot of other stuff has. So, and then I've gotten to be home and, do more stuff with the family life that I normally have. And we've done some stuff in that regards yet and progressed over here in our new home in Las Vegas. And so things are going good.
So do you get paid whether you're working on AEW or not?
Yeah, I'm under salary. So yeah, just like any other salary job. Yeah.
Right. So you mentioned, so you're living in Las Vegas now. You're from Chico, but you have a connection to Fresno. At least you're associated with Fresno. So what is that connection to Fresno that you have?
So I moved there after being released from developmental back in late 2009. I was in LA just briefly with my friend. I moved there with my girlfriend at the time, who would later become my wife, who is now my ex-wife. But and I lived in Fresno because she was from there for like the better part of like 7 years or something like that, maybe. And I really enjoyed it there a lot. And how it mainly came down was when I first started Lucha Underground. One of the original writers was from Hanford. Obviously, the area code there is 559. And I had a Valley Fitness Nutrition t-shirt on over on First and Herndon. And it had like the hashtag 559 on their tank top. And one of the writers saw that and just like, I guess, put two and two together. So when I came out my very first time, unbeknownst to me, they told the announcer to announce me from the 559, the cage. And I actually was kind of hot about it at first. Like, what? No, I'm from, because even from AEW, I always, say I'm from Chico just to give Chico a little rub. And I was like, no, it should have been the 530 if you want to do an area code. But then the more I kept hearing 559, the cooler it sounded. I'm like, does sound better than 530. It rolls off the tongue better the way that Melissa says it, who's now my current wife. It did work. It did get it over. So yeah, definitely Fresno's a home away from home. And I've been actually looking at and trying to go back there. And when I saw the this convention, uh, and then they hit me up to do this one, I was like, oh, perfect. That worked out beautifully. So,
What were your favorite places? What were your favorite restaurants here?
oh man, so I love Batter Up. That's still my favorite breakfast place I've been to. And Jeff over there, like, yeah, they always take good care of us. Don Pepe's. I don't even like Mexican food that much anymore. And I would travel Mexico all the time, and I would never eat any of their food. But I'd come back and I'd eat Don Pepe's, and that place is amazing. Um, Freaking was it Donut Fantasy off Bullard? Is probably my favorite donut shops.
I can't imagine a guy like you eating donuts.
Oh, well, I don't eat them all the time, but I mean, I'm a big sweets guy. If I'm gonna cheat, it's usually I want sweets. I don't want like burgers and stuff. I mean, I'll eat them. I like those too, but usually it's the baked goods that get me: cookies, the brownies, the donuts. That's what really gets me going. Where's some really good spots? Pismo's is really good. That's one of my friends' favorite places. We go a lot whenever I've been back in town. I'm trying to think some more mall pasta. Oh, the one off Bullard too. The I don't know how to say it, that Burok shop. It's like
Yeah,
yeah,
I know. Like Golden
that's
West.
unique. Like that was really unique. It's almost like a gourmet hot pocket. I know it's a German thing. What's more unique stuff? I know they're everywhere now, but Cream Nation was first there that I ever had. Obviously, Doghouse Grill is great. See, I mean, I've gone quite a few different places.
I think
And whenever I ask somebody like the favorite places, and they go, "Oh, Cheesecake Factory," I'm like, "Yeah, but there's Cheesecake Factory everywhere." I'm thinking about
exactly.
like local places.
So tell us a little bit about your background. So did you grow up in Chico, and then how did that lead to becoming a pro wrestler?
Yes, I grew up in Chico. I first saw it wrestling when I was 5 years old, and by age 10, that's all I wanted to do. And everyone would say that I would grow out of that, and would would kind of, that was just a childhood dream that would become a fantasy and just go away. But I'm like, no, this is what I want to do. And then I guaranteed everyone that I'd be signed by the time I was 24. And when I was 24, I got a contract at WWE. So I fulfilled that dream completely. And not really a lot of people were I don't want to say that we're not supportive of it, but nobody really was believing it was going to happen or really pushed me. Like everyone kind of wanted me to, do like the safer bet and like go, get a real job and regular job. And I'm like, no, this is, like I said, what's college for a little bit. And I was working, I was hustling, and I had a kid real young, and I was a man of all my responsibilities, but I knew what I wanted to do. And I was like, and even actually one of my counselors in college was like, look, this is really what you want to do. You can always go back to school. You can always, do whatever. It's like you can only physically go after this, now basically. So I didn't want to sit around and wonder what if or have regrets later in my life. And I feel like a lot of people who are motivated to pursue their dreams or go after their goals usually get deterred by people who haven't. So like it's almost like they would rather see you, just settle for less than to see you strive and sacrifice and achieve your dream, because for whatever reason they didn't. You know what I mean? Like there was a manager of mine at a job I had in Chico, and I remember when I left to go to Deep South Wrestling, which was a WWE developmental school at the time. He wasn't very thrilled about it. Was like really trying to rain on my parade about like how little my chances were, and basically just saying I was stupid for even trying or thinking it would happen. And he had a good job, and financially he was decently well off, but it was like pretty much the only job he's ever had his whole life. And I'm sure he had a dream or desire of something bigger, greater, whatever. Everyone has a dream. And not saying that his job was bad, but for whatever case, he never attempted, to even achieve his dream. So I feel like people almost want to bring you down because it almost makes themselves feel better. Because it's like if somebody else goes and does it, it's like, well, what's my problem then? Why did I try to do that? And everyone's afraid to chase their dream or strive after what they really want because they're afraid to fail. When they don't realize the only way to fail really is to never try. If you go out there and you go after it and it doesn't happen for you, I mean, all right, at least right? So I'd rather do that than to have some crazy ambition, goal, talent, desire, whatever you want to say, and then do nothing with it and then just wonder what if. Like that's terrible.
So what kind of real jobs did you have?
I mean, my last real jobs were all like personal training jobs. towards the end before I went full-time wrestling, which is easy and worked my schedule. But I mean, like, yeah, throughout Chico growing up and stuff, I worked in the movie theater, I worked at a Halloween shop, I worked at a grocery store, I was a manager at a sporting goods store, I worked at United Rentals, I did some construction. Um, like I'm missing one. So I mean, I've had quite a few different plethora of real jobs. So
And where'd you train to be a wrestler?
you know what? I don't really want to give them that much credit, but I trained some at PCW in Yuba City, and then I give a lot of my credit to Chris Canyon, who I train with, and who also is the one that got me kind of opened the door for me to be able to get to Deep South Wrestling back in like 2006.
Now, what college did you go to?
Butte College. I did 2 years just in community college.
I heard he had a certain classmate there that may have gone on to fame and fortune.
He was there, but no, I graduated high school with Aaron Rodgers. Yeah.
So did you guys know each other at all?
Yeah. I remember too. Like he would always talk to me about wrestling because that was funny. So like it was so uncool to like wrestling in high school just because I don't know, it's one of those things. But at that time, too, the Attitude Era, that was like when it was like the highest. That was when NFL was trying to give Vince McMahon money to take it off Monday nights because it was crushing NFL. So like even though it was like uncool, it was only uncool because secretly everyone watched it. And so it was cool, right? Aaron being, the NFL quarterback, and he'd always ask me on Tuesday, "Oh man, did you watch Raw last night?" He'd always talk to me about it. So yeah, that was really neat. And then I was a little mad that he got the world title before I did. I was like, it was bad enough. It was bad enough, right? That the star quarterback, and now he's going to be like the number one name guy from our graduating class. But then when he won the Super Bowl and they gave him the world title too, I'm like, damn it, that son of a.
Well, so this weekend will be WrestleMania weekend, but you're going to be somewhere more fun. You're going to be in Fresno for a card show. Tell me about that.
Yes. Well, you know what? It worked out because I didn't even know this was happening, and I missed the other one. People were tagging like, you guys should have got Brian Cage. I'm like, yo, man, I'm from the 559. I was the hometown forever. That's where I was announced from, all throughout Lucha Underground. And they're like, oh my gosh, we didn't even know. They're like, well, we have another one this week. And I go, oh, dang. And I go, well, that's WrestleMania week. I go, oh, but actually, because of AEW contract, we're actually not, he would rather us not do anything WrestleMania weekend because he wants AEW not to be affiliated with, because basically everything happens WrestleMania weekend around WWE. He doesn't want anyone to look like, hey, AEW's beneath WWE. So I was like, oh, well, technically I had a bunch of stuff I could have done out there, but I can't do it. So I'm like, that works out well. Sure, I'll just come to Fresno instead.
Sounds good. So, I mean, you have an amazing physical condition there. Tell us, how do you maintain your body?
Oh man, well, it's my number one. I'm not as a consistency, but it's my number one. Like, I don't know, maybe not number one priority, but it's everyone goes like, how do you keep on the road, man? You just have to plan ahead. So, and it's my daily life now. I mean, if I stop wrestling tomorrow, I would still live my same fitness lifestyle. And it's definitely what separated me from everyone else. Because nobody else in wrestling looks like me, especially these days. And nobody else in wrestling, I feel like, in general, has ever looked like me and performed and moved like me. And I absolutely love bodybuilding. I'm huge in the fitness world. I have plenty of fitness sponsors. It's kind of cool that I'm like almost like embraced through the fitness community as a pro bodybuilder, even though I'm not. But going back to the question, I'm tapering off. Yeah, so if I'm gonna go, to freaking, we said Dallas, and then like Orlando or whatever, I'll pack as much food as I can. But then like it's even easier now because before I'd have to freeze all my food and put it in the freezer when I checked in my hotel and blah blah. But dude, there's meal prep places everywhere, so I just plan ahead and I like look and I'll make an order like, okay, hey, look, I'll be here Thursday, but I'm leaving Sunday. Can I pick up food Sunday? Then I'll pick up food in this city or whatever else. I'll map out all the different gym locations. I'll usually rent a car if it's going to cost too much for an Uber, or just to make sense, and I'll go to the gym before I have to be at call time. And it's just all planning ahead. It's not super easy. I gotta sit there and break it all down and location wise and this or that, whatever. But I mean, if you fail to plan, then you're planning to fail. So I mean,
your body, really, your body's your calling card. That's your profession.
Exactly. So I mean, it just goes with it, man. So I just wake up and I mean, like, if you see my suitcase, I'll bring all my clothes and stuff like that. And I usually have a totally separate suitcase with all my gym stuff and my gym accessories and all my supplements and everything. And like, a lot of times I don't even need it all, but it's almost like my Batman utility belt. I just bring it with me just in case.
So do you work out once a day, twice a day? How's that work out?
Sometimes I'll go twice. I mean, sometimes it's just like like I'll do fasted cardio. I'll go back and I'll actually do the full workout and some more cardio. But um, I usually don't do two full workouts now. But I do work out just about every single day and almost every time too, like before shows. So yeah, I just got to get it in.
All right. Why don't you give me that double bicep pose? Let's see what you got.
Here, I'll just give you the one. Just give you the
Oh,
one. I don't think I don't think both can fit in the screen. So
there you go. And what's your goal as a pro wrestler? Where do you see yourself in 3 years, 5 years?
I don't want to say it's a failure, but if I'm not world champion in AEW within 3 to 5 years, then yeah, I think that's a big mishap and a big falling off of my career, because you're not in here to be the best and you know to be the world champion wherever you're at, then you're almost wasting your time. So that's 100%. I mean, there's so many matches I haven't had that I've wanted to have there. So I have plenty of a to-do list in AEW, just about getting there and making it happen.
Who's your favorite wrestler growing up? Who did you want to be?
It's funny enough, my very first favorite wrestler, like real favorite wrestler, not just a kid like in like Alton Ware or whatever. My very first favorite wrestler was Scott Hall, was Razor Ramon, who just passed. And then my all-time favorite was Shawn Michaels, but I mean, my idol, my biggest inspiration and influential person in wrestling has always been Chris Kanyon.
Right. What was so special about Canyon to you?
Everything he did was just so great. He was so innovative. Had such an array of offense. Like, so that's why I try to emulate his style too, with a lot of the different versatility of offense I can do, and my selection and array of moves and whatnot. Because when I'd see him wrestle, every time there'd be something new, something would stand out. So whether he had the best match or not, his matches would always stand out to me, or for a certain sequence or spot or move or whatever. And I remember that just really just struck a chord with me. So I wanted to be just like that. If I couldn't have the best match of the night, is which I always strive for, I at least want that moment that like sticks out with someone's mind. Like, oh, dude, that one spot in your match, I've never seen that move before. Oh, what do you call that? Or, that's kind of been my feather in the cap and what I wanted to emulate. And on top of that too, he was so good. He sold everything great. He made everyone look $1 million. His punches were great. He just did so much. And I mean, and the office knew how good he was because they gave him the opportunity to sign, those 10 or 11 cruiserweights. He was the one that trained with every single celebrity they brought in. They trained with Kanyon. He was heavily involved with the entire Ready to Rumble movie set. I mean, so he appreciated, understood, knew how much of a talent Kanyon was. But even then, he never got his full credit, in the actual wrestling scene. So, and I feel like if he would have been around now, these days, he would have shined way more than he would have at his time that he was here.
Hey, Brian. Hey, thank you so much for joining us, and see you here in Fresno this weekend.
All right, man. I can't wait. Looking forward to it. And I'm definitely going to try to get in some of those food eateries that I mentioned. So I'm excited.
Sounds good. All right. Hey, thank you so much.
No problem, man.